Welcome back to an Earful podcast. On this episode, we have the wonderful guys from Telltale.
Yes, and just to set the pretense on it, we spoke to him the week before the EP Lie Your Way Out was released. It is out now. You can go and get it. You can go and check it out. It's great. Make sure you do. But we talk all the things about the actual process of writing the EP, the local scene. We talk about what's the favourite scary movies. And then, of course, we talk about pet peeves as well. It's a good chat.
It is. Enjoy.
All right, let's jump right into it then. So how's it going, guys? You good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how are y'all today?
Doing good. How are y'all?
I'm not bad, thank you, mate. Not bad at all. So, where are you guys at the moment? Are you in Richmond at the current point? Or are you in completely different places?
Tim is. I'm just out of town for the weekend, but yeah, normally in Richmond.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're chatting to you today, obviously regarding the brand new EP, which is out there next week, isn't it?
Yeah, next week.
Damn. And when did you guys start writing for this EP? Has it been a long time coming? Has it been something that's been put together quite quickly, or?
It's kind of been a long time coming, I guess. Like we started the process, like some of these tracks were done before like the world shut down, like March 2020. So some of it started like early 2020 before that. And then some of it came back, mid 2020, early 2021 as well. It wasn't like fully done until October 2021 is when we kind of went back out to LA and wrapped everything up on it, just because, things had finally simmered down enough. We were all okay to travel and just kind of make it happen,
Yeah. So I'm curious for you guys then, how does the writing process work for you guys? Is it you all write together in one room, or is it like so you track like an idea on whatever software you use and then you throw it around? How does it work for you guys?
Normally, yeah, like Bryce or myself or one of the guys will like write a riff. Normally we build out like the songs in like 30-minute segments before we actually like head into the studio. So like I might write something and then go demo it with Bryce. And then when we actually go for like a real recording session with our producer, Zach, we'll just kind of bring snippets of songs and be like, hey, what sounds cool to like start working on? And normally once we kind of feel out the vibe of the song, just kind of what we're going for, we can kind of build out the rest of the track, and then he'll help us, kind of put it together. And John will come with some different melodies and different lyrical sets like in mind to have for the songs. But a lot of our writing is pretty much done in the studio, like together as one. Yeah. And it's kind of weird because I feel like a lot of bands come with more for like formal demos and everything, but like we only show up with like 30 seconds of a song and then just write the rest of the entire song in one like 2-hour period or something. So it's kind of unique, but just something that works for us.
It's nice having the producer's input as well, and having that like extra person who's obviously not got the same perspective as you have in a sense. You know what I mean? You guys are always playing together. It's nice having that outside view and maybe the extra opinions of maybe what would sound good in the track and things like that.
Yeah, definitely so.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we've been working with the same producer, Zach Jones, since pretty much the band started. So he's kind of like a fifth member. He's done like our Timeless Youth record back in like 2019, and then a bunch of other demos, as well as this new album, Lie Your Way Out. So he just brings a unique perspective too. He used to be in this metalcore band called My Enemies and I, and he just likes to write like really dark and like kind of tough stuff. So it just works for us.
Cool. So how did that relationship start then? Was it you had a mutual friend or a connection, or is it something where you were inspired by some of his previous work? Because obviously he's done Fever 333 and a few other established bands. Was there something that drove you to connecting with him?
So like being from Richmond and everything, Zach's old band was, I guess, Richmond based technically. Richmond and the beach. John's from 2 hours east down at the shore of Virginia Beach. And so kind of just growing up in the same scenes and stuff. John had a better like direct connection with him because John did a lot of like metalcore bands before sliding over to, I guess, the rocky pop punk world of stuff. And so that's kind of where the two of them linked up. But we ended up playing like a CD release show for them and just kind of vibing with Zach. It was nice because he was just like an hour down the road. We would just like pop into a studio and do some stuff for like just a day, the weekend, and be like, yo, I just came up with this sick riff. Do you have an idea? Like, are you available later? And be like, yeah, pull through. So like we had that kind of vibe going for the longest time. Yeah, I was super sick. And obviously like he's gone out to LA and done some insane things since then. As you mentioned, like working with Jason and the Fever. That's sweet. Tons of other stuff. So like sucked that he went a little further away, like plane ride and all that stuff. But you know, it's sick to see how much he's like grown since even just like our first release. And like, I guess that was like 2 years ago, 2.5, something like that. So it's just great, honestly.
And it's nice to get into a different atmosphere as well, like just getting out of like Virginia and getting all the way over to LA and having that sort of, do you think that influences your music sort of as well? And when you're writing over the mood of it?
I think so for sure. I mean, like Tim, you remember the one McDonald's that was next to his house?
Yeah. Zach used to live in like a very rural part of Virginia. So it was like just him. And then literally there was one restaurant like around and it was like, we'd have to eat there at the same spot, like every day, kept eating like the same, like McDonald's Happy Meals and stuff. And it was kind of gross after a while, you know? So, after he moved out to, LA, there's obviously like a lot more spots to eat. The weather's like a bit better. Yeah. And it was definitely cool to just not be in Richmond to kind of write some new stuff. So it was cool.
I think the aspect of getting out of your hometown scenery is a massive difference for in terms of just productivity and creativity in general, because it's like you completely take your headspace out of what you typically would be doing. Because I remember our old band, we recorded something in our hometown and it was like, right, we'll just go home and walk the dog, or we'll go and sort out whatever we're having for dinner or whatever else. And it's like, it's not the same, because it's like as soon as you go somewhere else, you're like, I am in a band, we are focusing on this writing process and everything is about that.
Yeah, like the walking the dog and like going home aspect was like something that definitely hit home for just driving down. Because I mean, when we did the Timeless Youth sessions, that's kind of how it was. It was like, all right, cool, I work at 4, so like I got to dip at 3, and like just that kind of aspect for the whole time. Whereas like when we're flying out there, it's just like, we're here, let's go. Like we're in music mode the whole time. Like, sure, it's always, oh, yo, this band's playing, let's go check it out. Or like we tried to go to Universal for like the Halloween Horror Nights when we were out there. Stuff like that pops up, of course. But, you know, like that aspect of getting away from everything, all the distractions, even though like LA is a way busier place than like Richmond, Virginia ever will be. Like, there's just so much more going on at home, because like that's where all your ties are. I got to go let my dog out. My boss is calling me. They're like, yo, you sure you don't want to come in? It's like, yeah, leave me alone. All that aspects is just, that's all gone. It's all gone when you're across the country.
I think it unifies you more as a band as well, because you're all in the same headspace and all in the same area. Because I remember referring back to it when we were recording in our hometown, it was, one of us isn't coming because he's got a shift. He's only coming in at this time. And it's just not the same experience.
Exactly. Agreed.
Yeah.
So, what's the music like, or what's the music scene like in Richmond, Virginia? Then what's that like at the moment? Because is that, if I'm not mistaken, is that the hometown of Dave Grohl?
Yeah,
is this Dave Grohl territory?
He's about like an hour up the street from us. Yeah, he's up in like Alexandria, but Foo Fighters does play like a bunch of like really cool shows and things around like the DC and like Richmond area. I've seen a couple times. But yeah, Richmond scene's really solid. We have a really solid, I'd say like a DIY, like punk scene, very strong hardcore scene with like, you know, we used to have Down to Nothing's from here, Lamb of God's from here, War. So it's just, I don't know, some weirder bands, you know, heavier bands that we all like.
War is sick.
They are, yeah. Yeah, there's a bar here. It's called War Bar. And
as if
it's super sick, and all the food is named after like their songs, or it's just like really gross, like I don't know, like galactic steak or some shit like that, and it's just kind of gross. But Richmond's our cool town. Everybody is really supportive in the music scene. House shows are like a really big thing here, just DIY spaces, and people are always down to, you know, drink a really crappy beer and watch like some kids punch each other to like a hardcore band. So it's always a time.
Always the best way to watch.
Yeah.
Every time I think of that, obviously, because with the perspective from just being in the UK, it just reminds me of the Denny's Diner video when they have the hardcore band playing in there and then everyone's just going sick in Denny's, just throwing down in Denny's.
Yeah, that is a really sick video. Yeah, that kind of sums up like our area. Like I had this one show that I booked for like a couple pop punk bands, and it was in my friend's house. This kid actually like tore down like the ceiling fan like out of the like top of their ceiling, and it like caused like almost a fire. Shit. Like, and it was just the most ridiculous like stuff like that where people just go like really far with like stuff like that. So I love that video.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you guys in the press packs that we sent over, you kind of talk about how you should kind of embrace your individuality as like people. Was there like a certain influence or band or moment or something like that which kind of defined where you kind of clarified what the individual person you was?
Bryce, you want to start? Or I can go.
It's a honestly, flowable vomit.
There's a bigger one. I don't know, Tim. I'm gonna shove this one on you real fast. Take a drink of your cookout.
Yeah.
You got a milkshake? What you got?
Yeah, I got a drink. Yeah, I guess like my music journey kind of started like my dad used to be a promoter back in the 80s, so he booked like bands over here in the US like Joan Jett and like George Thorogood and bands like that. So I kind of grew up in like a musical background. My uncle like played guitar and everything. First CD I got was Meteora by Linkin Park, so that kind of like spurned me to
Nice.
Music. I first got a guitar when I was like in middle school, about 13, after playing Guitar Hero like religiously. And just that type of like thing kind of made me want to pick up an instrument. So it really like fueled my background. I really like classic rock. I like a lot of punk stuff, Blink-182 and like Ramones, and just bands like that kind of make me, I guess, unique as a person. So I'm really big into power chords. That's just kind of my thing. And just like, let's run around in a circle or something. So
they're so simple, but it's so effective. You can't go wrong with a power chord.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
if
Johnny Ramone can play like 3 chords for like almost every Ramone song and somehow become like world famous, like I'm pretty sure anyone could do it if they hit the right mark. So we'll see.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Bryce, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, similar story to like Tim and everything. Like my dad always was just handing me CDs and stuff when I was younger, driving around with him. Like it wasn't the same vibe as like when I'm with my mom playing like more radio music or like kid friendly tracks. Like, I mean, Radio Disney was like a thing over here. I'm not sure if they did that in the like globally.
It was on iTunes. I remember it being over. And don't ask me why I was listening to it at the time, but
so like I mean, back in the early 2000s, you could dial that bad boy in the car and drive around and listen to it and stuff like that. So like that was like the mom vibe. My dad's vibe was like, here is Black Sabbath, and this is called Cheap Trick, and Led Zeppelin, and all this stuff piles up. And so like definitely a lot of influence from him. Growing up and moving into things. And then I guess it was like early 2000s. It was probably like 4 or 5. Whenever this mall near us, a fancy mall at the time, Short Pump got built. There's a Hot Topic there. This is like putting like a the edgy weird store in the middle of like a really nice area, like up and coming, like classy restaurants, great folks. And I bought what I thought was a calendar by this cool band, Slipknot. Turns out it was actually like a record and a t-shirt, like combo bundle pack or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. And I guess it was from, I think it was Iowa.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would have been like 2002-ish, something like that. And I didn't have a record player. So my older sister was like, go return it. So I did, but the image stuck in my head. And then I head up iTunes, and just kind of spiraled out of control from there and ended up like finding bands like that. Some of the heavier artists, I guess, that went mainstream and, with like everybody, especially at our age demographic, Guitar Hero was huge. So like finding some of those bands and then seeing 2 years later, like Lamb of God and like Slipknot tracks and Disturbed, like on video games was insane. And that kind of, you know, as you meet older kids growing up, going to some shows and stuff, you know, finding heavier artists or different bands, different influences and stuff. And I mean, like Tim, I'm not a good guitar player. Like I'll be the first one to admit it, you know, like power chords are sick. A nice simple riff like Whitechapel, I've been listening to them lately. Some of their like riffs from their self-titled record and things like that, they're just so simple, but like I don't know, they're like effective as hell. I don't get what Alex Wade does, but that guy, he's got some stuff. And it's just like 3 or 4 notes, but it's just like put it in the right order, like he was saying about the Ramones. Like if it's good, it's good. Like
yeah, man. I mean, AC/DC make it work just using like 4 chords, and they sell out stadiums, and do you know what I mean? So it shows you the formula works. Why there's no point in breaking it? Do you know what I mean?
See, I've come to think of it as that it doesn't come down to how complex a riff is or whatever else you're playing. It comes down to the actual feel and energy of it.
Yeah.
So if it has a vibe to it, you're just like, fuck, that's insane. Then you're instantly going to be captivated by it. Like, I mean, like you say Slipknot, like I remember discovering, I think Duality was the first song I heard from Slipknot. Yeah. And I was into like, I need to get into this band. And then saw like the imagery and I was like, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah. But I mean, like Duality, like that main riff, like it's 2 notes and a pinch harmonic. Like, come on. I was playing that riff when I was like 10, like, you know, and tons of bands, I feel like, especially, or kids growing up, you know, you want to be the next Eddie Van Halen, you know, like that dude is a literal god.
Yeah.
Like not everybody's going to be able to shred like that. You know, Jason Richardson shreds, John Petrucci shreds, tons of dudes shred. You don't have to shred to be the next best thing or whatever. You just got to write good music.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it's like, oh, go on, Mike.
No, go on.
I think there's a difference between you have like some players that will be like, I want to get to technically the best I can possibly ever be. And then you have the ones like, personally myself, I went down the route of, I'm never going to be able to play like Avenged Sevenfold. So therefore I'm going to go and songwrite instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, obviously, people just progress in their own way, and like you're writing your own way. If everyone was like shredding on guitar, a lot of people would just be writing like the same music, and they'd be like 5-minute guitar solos in there, like doing a Zakk Wylde like all the way through. Do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't be the same, would it? So yeah, it's good because it just gives everyone that individuality. And going back to it, you two mentioning Guitar Hero, I 100% agree, because when I was younger as well, playing that game actually got me into a lot of different music as well. Like bands that I wouldn't necessarily listen to, you still had to play them to get through the different stages on the game. And weirdly, it worked, and it got me into those different, like, I think that was the first time I ever heard Killswitch Engage, like for the first time, playing My Curse on Guitar Hero 3. And then, so it's crazy how like a game like that can just influence you, and then, you know what I mean, to go forward and play music and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, especially like the internet wasn't popping like it is now. Like you can just type like metal band and who knows what you're going to find on the internet right now. Like Guitar Hero did a huge thing for like rock, metal, alternative kind of music. I guess guitar driven, you know, we won't talk about the Muse track that they make you play all the synth parts on a guitar, but it is what it is. You know, like it's like cool band. Honestly, they got some cool vibes and stuff, but yeah, it's just crazy to see how times have changed. And like, especially for our kind of realm of kids, like Guitar Hero shaped a lot of our musical journeys, like for sure.
That's the thing, right? Like that's how influential it was that we're referencing a game that literally came out. How many years ago has it been? It must have been a bit plus 10 years now.
Yeah.
I'm 15 to 20 for sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Getting old, boys.
I know, damn it.
Yeah.
You guys get to expert mode on Through the Fire and Flames?
No, I could do it on hard.
No, I didn't either.
I still can't play it. I've been playing guitar for 16 to 17 years and I still can't do Guitar Hero. My brain can't comprehend that you can't play it like a normal guitar.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, have you seen, there's some I don't know what it's even called, but like I see people like post it on like Reddit or Twitch or something. You're just scrolling through and it's like more modern songs, but it's like they put it into their own like video game version of it. And it's not even like, they're just like tapping along and pushing buttons. It's like just expert mode through Fire and Flames. Like it's just guitar sounds. I don't get it. Like kids tapping like this and
it's just not the same, is it?
Nah.
No, but weird. Oh man.
I know they did Rocksmith as well, where you could actually just plug your guitar in there. And I never played it, but I guess you just played along with the tracks on there. And I guess that's even better for like people who want to progress into actually learning guitar as well. So that's cool that they did that. But yeah, I never got the chance to play that game.
Yeah, it wasn't too popular, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. No,
I think it was too hard for people.
Probably. Probably because you actually had to.
Yeah, I have to pick up a guitar and actually play.
You have to learn something. It's not just a book.
Yeah.
Amazing. Right. Let's have a look. So you guys kind of quote on the overall writing and the theme of the EP is being in an apocalyptic generation. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, Tim, do you want me to go or you want to go?
Yeah,
just because I think it's an interesting aspect to it, because what in the press release you obviously go on about like how we're always in fear of everything at the minute. I think it's very relevant at the moment. I don't know if it's worse over where you guys are, or if it's more fear mongering with our media at the current point. But I think it's a very relevant topic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think coming out of our last EP, like Timeless Youth, that was more of like we were kind of like naive to the world. Those songs are more of like kind of like happy go lucky, like relationship type songs, like kind of reflecting on like our youth. And as we did some touring, like in 2019 and 2020, we just saw like a lot of different things. Like the world kind of was like changing around, kind of what we were seeing. So when we went into the studio in like February of 2020, I think the Australian wildfires were going on. And it was just like I feel like it was just kind of a weird time like in the world. So we ended up writing Slow Burn around that time, which, touches on like the environment and kind of like green energy and stuff like that and global warming. And then that song kind of led into Out of Control, which kind of discusses like, how people are kind of just attached to their phones, especially like the younger generation and stuff. And then that kind of just led us into Cobain, which is more of like a mental health type song for like when we're out touring and stuff. And, the only people you kind of have are your bandmates, and you're in the middle of nowhere, Utah or something. And, shit kind of sucks. So I think, like just the overall theme of the record is just, it's like more serious than what we normally have been, writing in the past. And we wanted to just tackle some bigger topics that I think were all like kind of relevant to like what we were all kind of seeing in the world. And, recording half of it like in the middle of the pandemic, like before the pandemic, and then like, here in the middle or whatever it was. I think you can kind of like see that, I don't know, we're just trying to tackle some bigger topics and stuff. Bryce, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Tim just alluded to a little bit there. Like, it's one of those weird things. Like, we did some of it before the pandemic and some of it after. Is it over? What is life right now? I don't know. I mean, like, because it's not like that's gone away or anything, and people still have to deal with that. Like, I don't know if that's just something the world has to figure out and adapt to. I mean, potentially, but like it's just kind of this weird thing where like we wrote it with this odd mindset of like everything's on fire behind us. It looks like there's some stuff on fire in front of us, but we got to keep driving that way because there's only one way to go, and that's forward. So like, and that goes to the environmental topics. The young kids are radical and want to change things all the time, but maybe we do have a cool viewpoint that you just haven't thought of. And touching on the mental health and stuff is always something we're very, very keen on doing, just because like the four of us aren't afraid to, try to just get rid of any stigmas or bad mindsets that people have. Like it's okay to have feelings, you know, and emotions, like, and share them if you're comfortable doing that, you know. Nothing that we're afraid of doing. And, you know, like, I hope other people can kind of like grasp onto those concepts too, and, you know, be okay with who they are and what they have to deal with in life. But it's just kind of a weird state of the world that we've been in the past, you know, year and a half, 2 or so, whatever. That just kind of captures it with all 5 of these tracks in a very unique way almost, you know?
Do you think going through this current era as a band is it quite refreshing? Like, just in general, of like discussing more real topics, like obviously there's the, I wouldn't call them generic, but like the typical things to talk about relationships and being with your friends and stuff like that, but actually like tackling actual subjects that are relevant. Did you find that, one, quite refreshing in the writing process? And 2, do you think now with bands going through this era that more subject tackling songs writing is going to become more prominent? Because it was something that I think was more prominent probably about like 10 years ago, like with Rise Against and stuff like that, but it kind of like dimmed away, and then I think it's going to start pushing back again.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see something like that potentially happening for us and everybody else too, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's a reason songs from bands like Blink-182 about hanging out with your friends and doing crazy stuff or breaking up with your girlfriend or whatever last. And you can always write something like that, and it's always to an extent relatable. But talking about topics that, you know, like, are literally more like in that rise against realm of like activism to an extent, I think that's definitely something we want to lean towards, and I think other bands should too. And if there is a resurgence of it, that's great. You know, I'd like to hear more about your perspective on whatever you got going on in your country. I'm not a global citizen. I'm not as educated as I could be, but, you know, like, I understand we're all hanging out here on the big old blue and green rock together. You know, so everybody speaking up on whatever they got going on in their corner of the world is definitely important, you know, whatever it may be, kids staring at their phones too much, or weird political issues, or forest fires. Like, it's all important. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I think building off that, I think we just want to write music that kind of makes, you know, people think more critically. Some of my favorite artists, one of my favorite artists is like Rage Against the Machine. And I remember, like, you know, hearing their self-titled the first time and being like, damn, like, I think I haven't been thinking of like, or seeing things like correctly in the world, and like how people interact socially between like different, you know, races and just stuff like that. And it's just, I feel like it's really cool if you're able to make the listener really like think critically about how they see their day-to-day life, or, you know, something like that. And we're kind of hoping for, you know, somewhat of a similar effect with the, you know, slow burn on the record as like the environmental stuff. So I think just promoting like, you know, more critical thinking. And, you know, we have had kind of like a weird environment with in the United States with like our, you know, president's changing over here recently, and it's kind of like a weird demographic between like, you know, like the left and right type thing. So I think just, you know, spurned off that, you will definitely see like, you know, more songs where people are trying to make people think in a different mindset. So
yeah, where did you guys get the artwork idea from then? Obviously it's a combination of everything that it's about, but what was the artwork? What's behind the artwork?
So we when we were working with this guy, his name's Bruno from down in Brazil. Actually, we found him on like Instagram, oddly enough, and just kind of started a conversation there. And for each song, like of the single, he did the cover for that as well. Like obviously, Slow Burn has like fire and stuff, and then the youth is the kids on a bird and stuff. And but for this one, we kind of sent him a message, and we were just like, how would you picture like a sleep paralysis demon and like just something creepy vibey like watching over you, because you see like that dude's face in the mirror on the cover, and it's just like, what is that? Like trying to capture this like unifying sense of, you know, like it's just a bathroom, but there's also some like weird stuff going on, and you know, it's not all necessarily supposed to be like super thought-provoking, but definitely just gets you to like think about like in the normal sense, there's always other stuff going on in the room that you might be able to see or you might not be able to because it's dark and in the shadows, you know. Kind of going back to the whole mental health thing, since that was a pretty big thing in the title track and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Bruno does really cool, like abstract art. So he'll take like, I think his handle is like at Taki is branding or something. I don't remember something. Anyways. Yeah, he has just really cool, like he'll take basically like retro, like pieces of art and like combine them in like a modern style. And like all his artwork kind of like makes you think of like, it's just weird stuff, like a guy like sitting on the moon, like looking out into the space and like the space is ocean or something. Like it's just kind of, you know, thought-provoking stuff. So we had him just kind of do the record, and we just really liked kind of like his artistic style. And we were hoping that like each piece of art kind of makes you think, it's just thought-provoking, kind of like the song, like subjects of the song. So we thought it kind of tied everything together pretty well.
Awesome. It is authentic, absolutely. Because I mean, when I first saw it, it was you're instantly drawn into like, oh right, what's going? I need to understand what this is and what's going on with it. And I think that's the best type of artwork because you actually fully appreciate it. And with you kind of like talking through what your thought process was with that and how that came together, it makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, we let him have.
You appreciate it.
I was gonna say, yeah, we kind of let him have like creative freedom as far as like the art, like as far as like kind of it goes. But we did have some edits and stuff, and kind of we're bouncing back some ideas. But definitely think it turned out pretty sick.
Is it all digital or is it part like physical paint or digital? Yeah.
I was going to say, you come to appreciate it a lot more nowadays, like the artwork as well, because of the vinyl resurgence and stuff like that. And that's one of the main reasons for me when I buy like a vinyl, like a record like that, is mainly the artwork and like looking at all that and inside a gatefold and seeing the artwork inside of there and that sort of thing. So I think more than ever, artwork is just as important, obviously, as the music in a way, if you get me.
Yeah, definitely. So there is a plan for this to be pressed to vinyl, but with the current backlog or whatever, they decided to kind of hold off until we could actually have something and be able to ship it. But the layout for this is going to be pretty cool. I think we right now we have the front cover and we're kind of working on like the back and then like the insert and everything. So even though it's only 5 songs, I think it will still be pretty cool to have it like on wax and listen to it on my Crosley or whatever. So should be sick.
I think it's a different level of appreciation, like actually having like the physical work of your music. There's just something so different than seeing like an MP3 WAV track on your computer. It just takes it to a next level. Like, holy shit, this is
real.
Like I made this with my hands and I'm holding it. So totally feel that.
So what is it with the whole, with the vinyl thing at the moment? Is it, because I've seen that there is a lack of vinyl, but I've never actually dove into what's actually going on.
Isn't it the Adele thing?
Is it Adele?
Adele released an album and everyone went, nobody do vinyls. We are the only people that's doing vinyls for like the next 6 months or something.
Yeah, I don't know about that situation, but I mean, like I know a lot of bands, God, I can't even think of an example. I bought the Devil Wears Prada Zombie 2 over the summer last year, right? And the release date came, nothing shipped like the week before or the week after, and then like 6 months later, I just got a record on my doorstep, and then it came time for us to have those conversations with Rude about printing our own and getting some stuff done. And they were like, hey, it's like a 6 to 8 month turnaround right now. And we don't know how you guys feel about doing like a pre-order and stuff on the release when so if you bought like a t-shirt and a record, you're not going to get it until the record's good too. So it's a long time to wait. I mean, we're talking you'd get it in September, and we were like, maybe we'll see if production changes and stuff. and it's so different every day. Cause like sometimes people are like, well, if you just get a straight black, like we can do that in like 3 months though. And it's like, well, I don't know if I want straight black. Like, look at these cool colors we can do. Like, come on. So it's weird. It's real weird.
Meanwhile, Adele's just melting everyone's vinyls down and just flinging them out. Like,
I own all the vinyl. No, because I had the same experience with the last main album that was released. I pre-ordered it, and then I think it turned up about like 4 months later.
Right. Yeah.
But then I got Spirit Box literally on the day it was meant to turn up. It was baffling.
Oh wow. Yeah. Like I don't know if like bands like maybe when did Spirit, was their album out in September?
Yeah.
And I assume the main probably came out in May, June. That's just,
it was like April or something last year or something.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe like that's when word got around and it was just like, cool, you just need to like push the button on this stuff already. Like just say yes so we can get it out in time for your release. Yeah. I don't know why. Cause like I've wanted to order like the Eternal Blue record. I've thought about getting it myself and it's just like, well, but when is it going to show up? Like, I don't know.
What do you think of it? I'm imagining you've listened to it.
Oh yeah. I like it as a whole. I mean, I think that band is like refreshing, kind of like, I mean, they obviously have Sam Carter on the track and everything from Architects, and like that band, Architects, is refreshing to metal in the same way that like I think Spirit Box is. Like, you know, it's not just about like distortion and breakdowns and cool riffs. Like you can push it. I mean, Courtney has an incredible voice, like, and she pushes her voice in various aspects, and they've got so many cool vibes. I mean, the intro track Sunkiller, like there's no breakdown until the end. And the whole time, if you're like, oh, heaviest band, whatever, like you're not going to be picking up on those vibes, like Constance. But that's a beautiful track.
Incredible.
Like, right. Like, I don't know. So like just hearing stuff like that come from them and like knowing a whole, just straight clean vocals the whole time, not really heavy or anything. Like you could put that on like mainstream radio to an extent. Nobody's going to like turn it off in the way that somebody wouldn't turn off like, I can't even think of an example now, but you know, like Tim, you got me here like I don't know, like a heavier mainstream, like a Breaking Benjamin track.
Yeah.
There you go. Something like that in that sense, that kind of like same realm that they like cross over into that realm, but then are like, all right, cool. Yeah. Like don't play us in front of your grandma. So
I think it was I said this when we did the wrap up of last year of like albums of the year, where from like Holy Roller and then they announced the album, I was like, this has the potential to like really like let me down when it comes out as a release, because there was so much hype about that band, and then it turned up and it was like, holy shit, this actually lived up to the hype.
Yeah,
because like there's so many occasions on that album where there's just clever songwriting and vocal melodies where everything's hooky.
Yeah, like big fan of that record, especially for like the metal rock scene of the world.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Like, I mean, Architects over here is like up the like top tiers of like metal, like the most prominent. I'd say they're probably one of the most prominent metal bands around now.
I was like, Bring Me the Horizon were up there, but then they're sort of crossing the boundaries now, and they're like mixing sort of pop elements with metal, and it's crazy. Like they're just crossing into both worlds. I mean, it's
crazy, like thinking of that band, because like you know, their first records, like thinking that band is the same band that
it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
And I was doing claps with Ed Sheeran on the Brits.
Yeah. You would never have thought that, would you? Like listening to that first like EP and that album, and then just going from that to a collab with Ed Sheeran, as you said, it's fucking mental.
Yeah, that definitely shows just how good of like musicians they all actually are, though. Just like the way that they can, like I was talking to one of my friends and he's like, they just did like a full loop of like their sound going from Sempiternal, they do like, you know, That's a Spirit, and then Amo, and then they have like that newer EP, and it's like he comes in and it's like, oh, Ollie's gonna start like screaming again, like, oh shit, like you're it's 2013 all over again, like let's go. So just a really cool, like I feel like they can pretty much do whatever they want at this point, and honestly I'm gonna listen to it regardless.
I think every release that they've done recently is like I wonder what happens if we just add this element, or I wonder if we work with the guy that composes Doom or something like that.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
It's
Like that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, and it's like it's not even things like in my head, but like, Joe, I really want to do. I want to collab with someone who does a game soundtrack, and it just completely like makes sense when you combine both together. It's like, holy shit, that's incredible.
Especially when
Did they work with that guy? His name's Mick, right?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
Mick Gordon, I want to say.
That sounds right. Yeah. Was that for the EP?
Yeah, so it was
because,
for
okay.
Parasite Eve. They did it for.
Yeah, like I totally can like hear the vibes for sure. That's sweet. Sick game.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, should we do the segments?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we'll get started with the first one then, which is what is your favorite scary movie?
That's an easy answer. That's a real easy answer. The answer is John Carpenter's Hit from 1978. You got it on the wall back there, it looks like. The Halloween, man, you cannot go wrong with that movie. Like OG Scream Queen kind of stuff going on. Like Jamie Lee Curtis just terrified. Is it a shape? Is it a person? Like, is it a monster? It's the boogeyman? Nah, but who knows? Michael Myers is here forever, man. That's all I'm saying.
100% OG.
How did you feel about Halloween Kills then?
I liked it. I haven't. So I bought the like extended director's cut version of it. The massive 4-minute increase in runtime is. I'm real excited for it, but I haven't watched it yet. I feel like the ending is the really only thing. The ending of that film is. I'm like, where are you gonna go from here now? Because I feel like they were building up this. Mike's just a person, man, and then all of a sudden they threw that supernatural potential element back in, and I feel like that's a lot of the stuff that people were not about with like, I guess the whole like marking and everything from like Halloween 6 with like the curse. So
honestly, they sort of made him human, didn't they? And then they brought the whole cult thing into it, the cult of thorns, and then it was like, okay, you may be going a bit OTT with it because like John Carpenter just wanted it to be the boogeyman and just like you said, just some supernatural force that just was just doing these things. And then as you saw at the end of Halloween Kills, he took a shitload of knives and footnails. What else? He basically got beat the fuck up, and he still just walked off and killed everyone there.
With like 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So I'm very curious to see where this next one goes in October. I mean, I'll watch it as soon as I can get in and see it, but.
I've heard that there's going to be a 4-year gap, so it's up to date with recent times.
It's going to have COVID elements in it.
It's going to have COVID elements in it. No. Yeah, that's been an interesting thing to watch with like shows and things too, like movies as well. Like, did COVID happen in your world or not?
You just get
in the Marvel films next.
Michael Myers doing a PCR test just before he's stepping into someone's house.
He's been masked up. He's good.
What eventually gets Michael Myers COVID.
Yeah. So what about yours then, Tim? What's your favorite scary movie?
I'd probably say It.
Nice.
Big fan of like, they have It 1 and 2 obviously out, and we actually have a group chat with like all of our friends here in Richmond called the Losers Club. So we always like to get together and watch that movie. Like, I don't know, it just kind of speaks to me. I had like a group of friends when I was growing up that was like 7 to 8 people, and we'd always run around the neighborhood like with bikes and stuff. And I just kind of see myself in that. Not dying, obviously, and chasing a clown, but like, I just think that movie is really cool. And just kind of like some of the themes and stuff they tackle, like, Stephen King kind of tackles like there's some, racism bits in there with like, I guess Henry's like kind of doing his thing, and then they kind of, join forces and everything. And it's just kind of sick. So I really like that movie.
Yeah, man, it's got that like nostalgic feel to it in the beginning, and it's like, you know what I mean? Every kid's like childhood growing up, everyone's got their own different problems going on, especially at home and stuff like that. And it's got that like Goonies vibe to it. But if Sloth was a killer.
Yeah, I just think the character development too is like just solid, both like the book and the movie. So I just really enjoy it. So
it's the point where Matty shows off the Pennywise bust he's got to his left.
Oh, really?
Let's see it.
I'm gonna fix my camera after this because it's a bit of a wriggle, but there we go.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's sick.
It's to scale. It's life size, and its eyes glow in the dark as well.
And it's freaky as fuck when you're sat in a room with it.
And then you've got Ghostface.
Oh, you got Ghostface.
Michael Myers things.
Yeah. Is the poster behind you? Is that Rob Zombies?
Yeah. So
I also have this.
Yeah, you got the same as me. Nice.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, it's the Rob Zombies Halloween one that I've got there, and then that's the 2018 one just behind me, and then I've got another one in the corridor. But I met nice, that's sick. I went to a horror convention over here in the UK back a couple of years back, and Tyler Main was there. So I met him, and he fucking hell, he is intimidating.
Is he huge?
He is massive. I mean, I'm 6 foot, and he make me look like a fucking small fry. So you can imagine him. You can imagine why Rob Zombie wanted to pick him to play Michael Myers. It's
no
insane,
doubt,
honestly.
man. Yeah.
I think James Stewart Courtney's absolutely killing it though with the recent incarnation of the Halloween films. Like it just the overall presence of him. He's just like so creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave myself on a horror angle because it's just not fixing anymore. So we're in a typical 2000s horror movie. So was there any like particular horror movies you guys watched like growing up that sort of stuck with you? Like obviously not necessarily favorite, but maybe like a first horror movie that you watched and you was like, fuck, like this is scary.
The Blob was like the first one. The one I guess was from late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
That one and the original too. But oddly enough, the original one like got like scared the hell out of me for some reason, even though it was like super cheesy and stuff compared to the newer one. Like you weren't watching people get disintegrated in it, but that and Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes. Sick.
Yeah. That movie got me because there's a theme park here that had the licensing for it for a little bit. Yeah. And they had like Busch Gardens has like a Italy section, and in the circus clowns in the area were like actually like dressed up in the proper attire from the film. And so being like 6-7 years old walking through there was like terrifying. I went to the Horror Nights it would have been 2019. I went to the Orlando one, and they had the Killer Clowns there as well for the Horror Nights, which is pretty cool. What's up?
Yeah, Universal's sick.
Yeah, man. This is the first time I've ever been to one, but they go all out for it, and like the props are always on point, like everything like that, the makeup and everything like doesn't disappoint. So they did Stranger Things as well, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's wild. Yeah. I wanted to go to that one. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things, but we did not make it down there. So
did you guys go to the one in Hollywood then, in LA?
No, we tried. Like we got there and we're like trying to buy tickets, and they're like, "Oh, it's sold out like an hour or two ago." And I was like, "For real?" Yeah, pretty much. So and we got stuck just like hanging out at the entrance, kind of like in Orlando, like the entrance is all the shops and stuff like that. Yeah. So just around there. So.
Have you guys checked out there's a place called Mystic Museum? I can't remember whether it's in LA or California, somewhere like that, where they have a thing called Throwback Video, and it's literally like
Slashback Video.
Sorry, it's like literally a room full of like all the retro like VHS tapes of all the old horror films and stuff like that.
Oh, sweet.
And he did a thing recently for the Evil Dead 40th anniversary where they did like an entire walkthrough experience of different things to do with the first Evil Dead film.
Ooh.
I've not heard of that, but
I've not heard of that. But yeah,
it's called Mystic Museum. I think Dead Meat, if you've known them on YouTube, they did like a walkthrough experience of it all. It was looked amazing. It made me so jealous I'm in England.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say this isn't really a horror movie, but that movie Signed with Mel Gibson. That movie,
yeah.
Oh, it's a sick movie.
That I have a field behind my house, like just like they have in that movie. And watching that at age like 10 and like finding it by accident and then watching it and seeing like the aliens come up out of there.
Yeah.
That messed me up for a while. So like I can't watch that movie. And it's just like really creepy. And then another movie I really enjoyed was Sixth Sense. The ending of that the twist is just like kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
And when you're 12, so you're like, oh my God, he's dead. So
yeah. So have you not found any crop circles then, just as of yet?
No.
Yeah, if I'm pretty sure if I saw any crop circles, I would just burn the house down and move to like
No.
Well, it gotta be done.
Yeah, well, looks like we're dying today. I don't know. That's why we don't like driving through Nebraska, and like I don't really like going through like the Midwest United States. Like you'll go through like Indiana or like anywhere in like the
Iowa,
middle of the US. Yeah, it's all corn. Like literally like hundreds of miles
fields.
of corn.
Just cornfields.
Yep.
I know there's an alien in there. I can't prove it, but there's one in there.
It's either that or Slipknot. It's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You're gonna find some Slipknot just jamming in the corner or an alien.
If you go, it's a fact. If you go to the middle of a cornfield, you will find Slipknot rehearsing. And be like, oh hey,
Corey Taylor just there chilling.
To be fair though, you would shit yourself in that scenario. If you was in the middle of a cornfield, you saw a dude in a Slipknot mask. I do not even care. I still would run for my life.
I'm running.
Out, yeah.
Jim Root's like a giant. I'm not bothering with that.
Yeah, I guess proper Texas Chainsaw vibes as well. Like just imagining going down a highway like that and just seeing all the fucking cornfields and things like that. It's not really like that, is it, over here? Well,
nah, it's a bit stale. Like you've got
all the different atmospheres and all these different things going on. Where it's just it's pretty just a few green fields and
Sounds safer to me, honestly. But
it does. It sounds a lot safer. Like. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's bad stuff and sketchy vibes. But,
100%.
Oh yeah.
I guess at least you didn't have Leatherface. So.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. It's true.
We have the werewolf, the American werewolf in London.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You just don't live in London. That's fine.
Oh, Wicker Man. Yeah, we have Wicker Man.
And Wicker Man. That's
okay.
I think I'm the Omen. That's pretty much it. Oh, you guys can keep all the serial killers.
Dude, we got plenty.
Did you get when you went to LA to record? Did you manage to find the Elm Street house?
No, I looked up actually the Halloween house instead. It's like a law firm or something right now.
Yeah,
it's like a landmark. Yeah, they like. I don't know how you move a house.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen videos and stuff, but yeah, it's like they lift the foundations up and fuck knows how they keep it intact. Yeah. But yeah, they moved it down the road, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like down in like Burbank or something. So we were like close to it when we were there, but it's just like getting there, it's weird. But they're like super chill. They're like, as long as you don't come up to the door and you like sit here, like they have a little square for you to sit and take a photo. It's like they know like that's Michael Myers' house. You got to check it out. There's actually a replica just like 2 or 3 hours south here and on the East Coast in North Carolina that like every year for Halloween, they like sell tickets and stuff too for you to come. Nice. And this dude has like 100% replicated everything from the house.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they filmed it not far off. The newer movies they filmed were not far off where you are. Then like, I think is it Wilmington?
Yeah, South Carolina or North Carolina. Yeah, Wilmington's like the Hollywood of the East Coast for some reason. Like tons of movies were filmed there.
The new God knows film why. As well was done there, and all the new Halloweens. And I'm guessing they're probably going to do the recent Scream film. They're going to do that one as well. the second one that they're releasing. So
yeah, it's been announced today. Answered the date next year.
6.
Oh, they announced like a release date for next year?
Yeah, 2023 March.
Okay.
That seems too quick. Like,
I feel like they already had like
they must have.
You know, you already had the script and everything, and like you knew what the world was going to say. Yes, like it's Ghostface. Come on. So.
True. Yeah, it's just crazy because they probably saw the success of Halloween and was like, yeah, we got to make a trilogy out of this again. Yeah. Even though Wes isn't there to be present, but yeah.
So that means next year we get Exorcist reboot and Halloween 6. And is there another one next year?
I
think
don't know,
that's the two. I think it's Exorcist and Scream next year.
Yeah, because Halloween's this year, and I guess they did Texas Chainsaw as well. I haven't watched that yet. I've heard it was rough.
Yeah, there's mixed reviews about it. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of seeing. I just hadn't really gotten cozy up to it yet. I know they filmed it in Europe though.
Really?
Yeah, in like Bulgaria or something.
Damn.
Like I don't know. Like
to be fair,
America,
the cinematography is amazing in it. Like there are certain like shots and stuff like that. You're like, yeah, it's fucking bang on. But then you actually get to you think about the storyline and you just go, no, you don't do that. Please don't do that. Oh, you went there. Oh, okay. Oh, we know it's finished. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the next segment.
Yeah. You beat me to it then.
For sure.
All right. So Mike, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah. So what's your pet peeves? What pisses you off the most in life? And it could be, like we said, anything as petty as you want. Someone eating and biting the fork and they're eating and they're like making it screech, or like, I don't know, someone walking too slow in front of you. Like we've had all that sort of stuff before. So yeah.
Anything. People who slurp the drink when they're having a drink.
Ooh.
I'd probably say like slow drivers. My nickname in the band is Timmy Whip. So like if they give me the keys to the van on tour, we're getting to the gig like on time.
We had that early.
Yeah, we're getting there
early.
So I don't like to drive fast. I just like to drive with a purpose. And I feel like if I get stuck on the interstate behind someone that's like slow, or just like two people slow and they're like hogging the lanes, just like, I'm like, damn it, just move the hell out of the way. That's like probably normally my pet peeve. So yeah. What about you, Bryce?
Oh man, there's honestly a lot of stuff that bothers me. I'm just that guy. I guess it's not like necessarily a thing that like people do, but just an aspect of life that just really grinds my gears. Is when people say like in fancy emails and all this stuff like this, but you have this like wish me luck mentality when someone, like, you're walking out the door to go do something and they're just like, bye, wish me luck. Like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't even know what you're doing. Do you have a job interview? Like, are you going to have a baby? Like, what luck do you need? Like, what is it? I don't know. Or like, I'll get an email from someone at work and they're just like, cool, I'll work on it. Wish me luck. I'm like, what context is that? Yeah. Wish you luck to do your job like you're supposed to? Like, get out of here. I don't know.
So to clarify, it's when people say wish me luck, but there's no actual purpose to it. There's no like clarification of what they need luck with. It's just, I am doing something. Wish me luck.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, all right, cool, off to work. Wish me luck. And it's like,
why?
Are you doing like open heart surgery at work today and you've never done that before? Like, what's going on that you need? I don't know. It's just weird. Bothers me.
It's like you're hoping for the worst. Like,
I mean, unless you're working front of house at McDonald's, then yeah, you probably need some luck.
You need some luck there.
Damn, I can't wait to use that now, Bryce, whenever I see you next.
Dude, like, I don't know.
Going to take a piss. Wish me luck.
But that's the kind of stuff I'm saying. Like, when people do stuff like that, it's just, why?
I don't know.
What's the purpose?
Don't ask me.
If I wanted to wish you luck, I would say, Timmy, good luck. Good luck in there. Like, you just ate a bad burrito. good luck in there, man. Like,
there's context to that. If you know the story behind them approaching that toilet, then it's like, you're going to need luck. But if it's just like, no context, no nothing, there is no struggle or worry from that, and they're just going, wish me luck, that's what the problem is.
Yeah. Like, that sounds bothersome, doesn't it? Do people not do that over there?
Not really. Like, we'll do it.
Much.
Like, typically,
Americans are assholes.
It's typically where if someone goes, oh, going having a meeting or something, wish me luck or something like that's more where it's used in England. Like, it's not used generically of I'm opening the door, wish me luck.
Yeah,
you have to have a proper pessimistic outlook in life to be able to be like, oh, something will happen to me when I open this door.
Yeah. Get attacked by like a wild goose.
There's a burr.
Oh man,
that's a good one. I've never read that one before, but I think that's more for it in the US than what it is in England. But that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Hey, man. Look, I also have a vendetta against coffee tables and the sensation that it leaves your toe when you like, you know what I mean? You stub your toe on like a coffee table or something.
Oh, right,
like,
yeah. In that instance, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, like we don't need coffee tables. Just get rid of them. Like you can put your drink on a table next to your couch, not in front of it.
It's usually the shin. It's not my actual toe. It's me catching my shin. But it's like where the table sticks out a bit more in the corners.
Yeah,
that's where it gets me.
Like, don't need it. Stop designing tables like that.
No.
Nope.
Just keep it as a box. Don't need tables, just need cardboard boxes. That's all you need.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I think that wraps everything up. So, Light Your Way Out, the EP is out next week, the 25th.
25th.
Yep, next Friday.
25th, yes. And it's on Rude Records. Okay, guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
And a good chat, yeah.
That was Telltale on an Earful podcast. A massive shout out to Harris from Colours Gold for getting us the chat. It was decent.
It was.
Make sure you check out the brand new EP, which is now everywhere.
Yeah, and also don't forget, while you're at it, we've got a Patreon now where you can go check out exclusive content. We've dropped a merch line where you can go and see that. The links will be either below in the video or in the description when you're listening to the audio, because I can't remember from the top of my head what it was, even though we've not long just mentioned it. Can you remember, Lun? No. Anyway, you'll find it somewhere, but yeah, we've got the merch, we've got the Patreon, and also just find our socials wherever you go. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We've not reached TikTok yet because we're old men, but yeah. Thanks for watching anyway. We appreciate it.
See you next time.